One positive is if the series continues to go like today, we won't have to do a lot of these dailies. They'll be over
Yeah,
in two
that's true.
two or three
That's
tests.
true.
Anyway,
That's true.
cricket day.
But yeah, it'll be well, we are hoping for 5 days, 4 test matches, 20 days of cricket dailies, but even if we get to maybe 12, 13, we would be happy,
take
I would say.
take that. In terms of the exact scenarios that Australia didn't want, that was up there as number one. Bowled out early, loose with the ball, already behind the 8 ball. Shall we just go home now? Nash, you look very happy tonight,
I
obviously.
am happy. I am happy.
Oh, bloody
Well,
hell.
India are in a good position, but the thing that makes me happy is all the talk about the pitches seems to be quiet. Um, it's a classic story of monster under the bed, isn't it? You keep telling your dad there's a monster under the bed, there is a monster under the bed, but there never is. It's
Yeah.
all up in your head, and that's what sort
Yeah.
of takes most of your time, and then you seem to forget to focus on the important things, which is to actually play good cricket. Um, Andrew McDonald certainly seems 10 years older already. On day one, Pat
Yes.
Cummins
Oh,
definitely not
yeah.
bowling up to his standards,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe
So,
selecting Scott Boland wasn't the right choice.
I don't think Scott Boland was the issue today, to be honest with you. Uh, I think
He
there's a
he
lot of,
wasn't he wasn't. I'm not saying he's the issue. I'm just
yeah,
saying in the scheme of things, he's not that impact bowler.
yeah. I mean, you're probably right, but I just thought the two senior bowlers for Australia, that's what disappointed me a lot. I know we can talk about the exclusion of Travis Head in a sec and the Australia batting and what went wrong there. But I thought what really disappointed me was the bowling effort at the end there. I thought Cummins, that's the worst he's ever bowled. I haven't seen him bowl it like that ever. Very full today. Maybe too much sunscreen on the fingers, I think. And Nathan Lyon was off as well, outdone, I think, by the debutant Todd Murphy. He was the big positive, I think, along with Marnus, those two, but played really well today, I felt. And I'm very happy for Todd Murphy.
Well, I think Steve Smith played well as well, and
Steve
Steve
Smith played
Smith
well. I
and
thought Hanscom
and
showed some good
Marnus.
signs, and Carey showed some of
Yep.
his showed some of his potential too. But it was just it was all too brief for Australia. You always
Yep.
felt that India just had their measure, you know. And
Yep.
the two spinners, Jadeja and Ashwin in particular, just the amount of extra bite they get out of the surface compared to the Australia spinners. I felt Lyon didn't get a lot. You know, I was mentioning in my preview in the series that can Nathan Lyon get enough bite out of the pitch? He hasn't spun the ball as much, I feel, over the last couple of years. Can he do it in India now? But I thought the two main spinners, Jadeja, outstanding on his return, just kept things so simple.
How good was Jadeja? I mean,
Amazing, amazing.
it just it's a pair for the
When they
ages. I
showed
mean,
me when they showed the pitch map, right, he had about 75% of the deliveries in the good length region. And when you're spinning some away, shooting some through, like you wouldn't get Steve Smith often with a straight ball, would you? But it's just what he has done in the deliveries before that,
yeah, absolutely,
spinning
and
the
that's what
ball
I was
away.
thinking.
Yeah,
And that's what I was thinking is to get a batter like Steve Smith, um, through bat and pad was absolutely incredible, and the way
yeah,
he was bowling, he was absolutely accurate, and it was India were all over Australia most of the day. But what I want to point out is, again, going back to the pitch, there was so much talk about the pitch
mm,
being this, the pitch being that, and they haven't learned. Australians haven't learned that just focus on playing good cricket. The pitch often, as it seems, it's not the way it is. And there was no odd bounce. There was no just turning square.
only a little bit,
It's
but there
it's
was nothing
day
wrong with that
one.
pitch. Nothing wrong with that pitch.
Yeah,
That was
but
I enjoyed
that
that
happens
pitch, to be
anywhere in the
honest.
world. That happens anywhere in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
And
yeah. Look, for me, I'd rather have that pitch than a road. You know, I'd rather have that pitch than the pitches dished up in India in the late
yeah,
2000s where they were
yeah,
so flat. You know what I mean? That one
Absolutely.
was you were glued to the actions. There was always something happening, and it was interesting, and the batsmen were
And
being
definitely the
tested.
fast ball is starting so well really
And the
helped
fast
India as
bowlers
well.
starting so well.
Shami
The fast
absolutely
bowlers,
brilliant.
the fast bowlers for India outshining Australia's as well. The way I look at this, in terms of a summary, a high level summary, I look at this as a really big missed opportunity for Australia. This was you had the chance to bat first on a turner and the chance to bowl last. Set up a score in the first innings. But yeah, we ended only, India trailing by 100 runs with 9 wickets in hand. It's not looking great. With the Border Gavaskar Trophy these days, might as well just, before the series starts, give the trophy to India, give the boards their broadcast revenue, just be done with it.
Yeah, that's a good outlook. That's a good outlook. Do you think Australia missed a chance not picking Ashton Agar?
I'd say Ashton Agar and Travis Head. I thought, they were in my 11 for the game. I'd touch on the Travis Head one first. That was the big one. I was definitely, well, I wouldn't say I was surprised because I always had the feeling that it could happen, that Travis Head could be left out potentially because of his record in Asia. But when you consider that Cameron Green is out, that's one less bowling option. You've got a debutant playing in the bowling attack. I think you just need that more reliable bowling option that Travis Head provides. I know he's another off spinner. I get that. But he provides that bowling option. And remember, this is what surprises me as well. At Gaul last year, he took 4 for 10 on a turner.
Yep.
He was unplayable at times. He's a good spinner,
Yep.
Travis Head. And look, we all know about his deficiencies against spin at times, but he can come in and attack and score some very quick, handy runs. He's in very good form. So, albeit that's in Australia, I get it, but I thought he deserved first crack. I wasn't overly surprised because of his horses for courses, but I thought there was he deserved the first crack.
So I think one thing what everyone has missed, especially the big media houses, and I don't mind naming names, Fox Sports, and the so-called experts, who were raging about the pitch yesterday. What they have missed is Australia has pretty much gone in with only 4 bowlers, 4 full-time bowlers, and 2 of them are off spinners. And one of them is Scott Boland, who was never going to be as effective as he is in Australia. And no one's picking up on that. One of them is a debutant. To debut as an off spinner in India is a massive thing, is a big thing. He's bowled well to his credit, but Nathan Lyon needs to step up as well. He doesn't have the best of records in India.
Lyon and Cummins, I thought
he
today very disappointing. The 2 senior bowlers,
absolutely,
and the senior players for
absolutely,
Australia today. You
and
look
no
at
one's
Warner
picking
as
up on
well.
that. The selection has not been up to the mark. And you're right.
No,
You
there's
say
some
talk
blunders
about
there.
Travis Head as well.
Mm.
Yeah, and on in these conditions, every team needs a good fifth bowler. And even a team like India, who pretty much have dominated in India over the last 10 years, always go in with 5 bowlers on these pitches because they know that things can change at any time. You need that fifth option who can give you the extra overs and trouble the batters and keep them at bay as well. So Australia have massively missed the selection in all the other talks and talks about the pitch demons and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
think
I
they
always
should
mentioned
more
I've
focus on
always
their own house.
correct. Australia got to look at their own house first. And I remember talking to you and saying I'd like to see a spinner in the 11 who turns the ball away from the right hander. India have got a lot of right handers in the 11. But not having Cameron Green there was tricky because he could be that seam option and then you can play that extra spinner. I look at another selection thing and not having Matt Kuhneman on tour. I think he's a very handy left arm spinner. He's done well in Shield cricket over the last couple of years for Queensland. Not having him there, I think was a miss. But yeah, you go in with that bowling attack. You look like you need runs on the board. It didn't happen today.
One thing I think I'd like to get your thoughts on was Matt Renshaw. I heard on commentary someone say Matt Renshaw was unlucky to get that ball first up. I mean, what
that's Mark
kind of
Waugh.
statement is that? Was
that Mark Waugh series? But you got to remember, batting at 5 and 6 is different. Coming in, and getting started in the middle order in India is very, very difficult. So that's something that the selectors didn't quite factor in as well.
Yeah.
But I thought Hanscom was a fair selection, and I thought he looked good in his defense. Probably could have been more proactive when Cummins got out, but I thought Hanscom defensively solid. He played with soft hands. He played for the straight ball all day. He really got beaten on the inside edge against Jadeja. I thought Hanscom did okay.
And
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see where K. Rahul goes in this series after this. And where Indian team management takes his position. That was a poor shot. He didn't need to play any shots.
It was
He
poor.
just had to block out the rest
Pat
of the day.
Cummins, as a captain, made it very easy for him. He's short on runs, K. Rahul, and Pat Cummins had a long on, a deep mid wicket, giving him the easy singles.
Yep.
Australia were flat. Australia were flat in the field.
Yep.
There was a chance there for K. Rahul to score runs in this innings
as well. But really looking forward to day 2, and hopefully we can see an Ashwin 100 as well. Coming at number 3.
Oh, piss off! Haven't you had enough?
If
so
that
far?
happens, if that happened, that'll be really already the last straw for Australia.
Yeah,
on day 2 of the entire series.
If that happens, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm telling you right now, he could bag a big score tomorrow, Ashwin.
Yeah, we have seen him do that.
If that happens, just pack the bags and go home. I'll take that. Anyway.
But all the listeners can watch us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and keep commenting and sharing and liking. And then we'll also release these on Spotify and Apple as audio podcasts, so you can listen to them anywhere, anytime. Give us your feedback in the comments and let us know what else you want us to discuss. And we'll see you here every day after the end of day's play for India and Australia. Thank you, Charbel. Thank you to listeners, and we'll see you tomorrow.